Usyk guy is talented. He's so talented. He's so small for a heavyweight too.
The point is if you box with that boxer, you will lose. He is the best.
Winning an Olympic gold medal, clearing out cruiserweight, and now becoming the guy at heavyweight of his generation.
Joe Rogan voiced concern over Tyson Fury's health, speculating that his prior bouts may have weakened his resistance, and he complimented Alexander Usyk's victory against Fury, saying he's the best ever.
He's fighting Usyk again.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That's a tough fight.
Yeah.
That Usyk guy is talented. He's so talented. He's so small for a heavyweight too. He's nonstop movement and his footwork and everything. It's so different than anybody else. Joshua didn't know what to do with him. He's like, where is this guy going to be when I'm throwing punches? He was moving all over the place.
In one of his podcasts, Joe Rogan called Alexander Usyk a fantastic fighter. Rogan praised Usyk's success and said he had excellent footwork and technique. Rogan highlighted Usyk's exceptional ability to outmaneuver opponents, demonstrating his proficiency as a heavyweight division technical.
So when you have an elite athlete like Joshua, who's like fast and knockout power, he can excel without having the kind of technique that a guy like Lomachenko and Usyk were trained by the same guy. They were both trained by Lomachenko's father. So they both have extreme technique. And then you have Bivol and Bitter Beef that just fought. Same thing. Both like super Soviet style boxing, and you go, whoa, like this is technique, like really, really high level technique. But it's rare that someone with that kind of technique gets into the heavyweight division.
And that's why Fury is just a
What experts say about Usyk: you will lose if you battle Usyk because he is the greatest. Rogan firmly believed that the outcomes of Usyk's bouts spoke for themselves, but many fans, particularly those who supported Tyson Fury, found it difficult to accept this reality.
Now, the first thing I've got to say is, why did Tyson Fury lose this? Well, I said in my prediction, there is only one way to beat Alexander Usyk. I've been saying the same thing ahead of Anthony Joshua's fights with him, ahead of everyone's fights with him. You've got to fight a kill or be killed fight. And even then, it's not a guaranteed way to beat him. Like, it doesn't mean if you fight kill or be killed, you're going to win. But the point is if you box with that boxer, you will lose. He is the best at that. I said in that first fight, Tyson Fury had good energy and a good moment up to round 7. And at that point, his energy started to go, his punches became less effective, and he was less of a threat. So you need to come into this fight and go in for the kill within those rounds, or you're gonna fucking lose, man. Guaranteed. And I'm not saying like, oh, stick it on him, like as if it's like that simple. You've obviously got to do it, responsibly, cleverly, but you've got to force the issue, because this man, he understands the laws of boxing too well. You've got to break the rules in order to beat him. And that requires you to do unorthodox things, to do unpredictable things. And when you do clip him, empty the fucking gas tank and go after him with every last drop of energy you've got. You've got to race him instead of staying with him. Because when you try and stay with him, you have to play by the rules. And when you do that, he wins every fucking...
Rogan wasn't the only expert to commend Usyk's exceptional skill set. Others have also emphasized Usyk's amazing movement and capacity to outmaneuver opponents. His footwork is so accurate that he can easily cover the distance, applying pressure on in contrast to ostentatious boxers who thrive on showmanship. Usyk is all business and only focused on demonstrating that he is the world's top fighter.
Usyk's movement is so damn good. Nice. All right, one thing I love about Usyk, he gets right on his opponent. Usyk answered it. He goes, I'm ready. Your Excellency, Turkey, please make this matchup, right? And I love that he's just, you can tell he's an athlete who just wants to prove that he's the best, right? There is no showboating. There is no trash talking. He's like, yes, we can do it. Well, we'll fight again. And I think after he beats Daniel Dubois, he's already beat Daniel Dubois. He's already beat Anthony Joshua twice. He's already beat Tyson Fury twice. If he beats Daniel Dubois twice, there's nothing left for this man to prove in boxing. I think this man lays the gloves down, walks away from the sport of boxing, spend time with his children, his wife. He mentioned his kids are in judo, and I think it'll be awesome for him to be able to walk away from the sport on.
In his commentary on Usyk's greatness, renowned boxing trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas posed a question that speaks to the boxing community. Who will defeat Alexander Usyk? Atlas has frequently commended Usyk's flexibility, stating that his capacity to modify his tactics in mid-fight is unmatched.
Who's going to show up? The winner, the guy named Usyk, who always finds it because he doesn't let it get away from him. Because he knew that if he let another round go like that, it could get away from him. The momentum start to flow that way. So what does he do in the 6th round? He comes out and dominates the round. He comes out and takes control. And what does he do for the next 5 rounds, whatever? At least on my scorecard. And maybe on the judges, I didn't see their score. But for the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th round, 5 rounds in all, I give it to him.
Last question for you. One word answer. It's an easy one. Will anyone in this era beat Alexander Usyk? Yes or no?
There's one guy out there.
Name him.
Father Time.
Athletes from all sports, not just boxing fans, are inspired by Usyk because he embodies the best traits of a champion, both as a fighter and as a person. Experts and analysts like Spencer Oliver and John Rawling have examined what makes Usyk unique, emphasizing that his influence extends beyond his performances in the ring.
He's a man of his word, but he's a superstar of what he does inside and outside the ring. You know, we know what's going on in Ukraine and what he stands for. And, you know, that passion, that emotion comes with him inside the ring. And we see that in his performances. Like, he's a guy, an incredible guy that, like, you get to round 9 and you think now that, you know, they're starting to feel it here. The psychological battle's coming in. They're blowing a gasket, fatigue setting in. But he's a guy that's got the ability to be able to turn a screw and turn it on in those last championship rounds. And that is the difference between him and the others.
Actually, within the context of a fight, isn't he? He knows when to put the pressure on. He reads a fight so well. And if it's close, you know he's going to find that little extra gear.
John, it's that last 30 seconds of each round when the round's close and you're thinking, which way is this going to go here? Because it was seesawing all the time in there. He's got the ability to that last 30 seconds to switch it on, put those combinations together. And that's the eye-catching stuff, the stuff that stays in the judge's mind. And they're the ones where them swing rounds, where they were quite close, that was what was getting him the rounds. And that was just enough. So, you know, he might land a couple of big right hands or a little combination, and that sticks with the judge, and I think that's the way the sort of fight went. Very close fight.
Usyk's most recent performance was characterized as extremely elite by combat sports journalist Luke Thomas, who emphasized the careful planning and flawless execution that Usyk brought to the ring.
That the people in boxing make around him, and then there is just the fucking wrecking ball that is Alexander Usyk, and he shred those plans and never let them come to fruition today with a very, very, very good performance, a elite performance, if ever there was one. I said this during the middle of the broadcast, and I'm going to repeat it here for folks who might be just joining us at the moment, which is that if there was something that really kind of signified the strength of Mayweather in his prime or at the end of his prime, certainly at a bare minimum, if you didn't get enough rounds to win in the first 6, you're going to be in the latter half of that bout. You got the first 6 rounds to do something, and if you don't really get it going there, it's curtains for you. And Usyk has exactly that same kind of gene. Usyk isn't just good down the stretch when he needs to be. Usyk is clutch. There have been multiple times at cruiserweight against some of his toughest foes, Breedis and others, in that Super 6 series, and certainly at heavyweight as well. There's been rounds he needed to.
Usyk's dominance silenced critics who questioned his capacity to sustain his supremacy at the highest level.
But the interesting part about this one is, for as clutch as he is, and of course, he came through here again yet today in just the most remarkable of fashion, he didn't really have to rescue any part of this. He was never, it seemed like, super down at any point. It was closely contested, in my view, whatever the fucking AI judge was doing. It was still, obviously, it felt a little bit pins and needles in big parts of it, but I just really want to take a moment to appreciate a guy undefeated and has achieved essentially at the highest level everywhere he has gone. He has done winning an Olympic gold medal, clearing out cruiserweight, and now becoming the guy at heavyweight of his generation. 2 times against Joshua, 2 times against Fury, beating Dubois.
Alexander Usyk's list of achievements is a recipe for boxing greatness. He has won a gold medal in the Olympics, unified cruiserweight titles, and is currently the heavyweight champion.
It drove me crazy. But Alexander Usyk is a stud. That dude is so difficult to fight. He's got great movement. And this is, you know, when we talk about it, he's faster. He's elusive. So Tyson misses a lot of shots on him, which only makes him tired. Tyson was too big, carrying too much weight. I'll give him credit. He actually performed better. When I looked at him at the weigh-in and he kept his jacket on, I was like, dude, you're telling me something.
Why'd you spend 3 months away if you weren't going to get yourself in tip? I felt like he was in good shape.
That's what it seemed like to me. I just looked at it and, his corner, I would turn on the sound when the round ended to see what his corner would say and stuff. And they were telling him, kind of the right stuff, but they were kind of trying to cheerlead him. They were cheerleading him, trying to get him going and stuff. And it was like, you're just not the guy that's going to end up beating Usyk. He's got your number and he understands how to stand in front of you. When you throw, he usually starts it. He knows your counter and then he's countering your counter and he's landing. And he landed at a much better percentage. He landed more shots. He easily won the fight. I didn't think it was close.
Usyk's movement has long captivated specialists who frequently attribute his success to it. Usyk is a stud, according to many who admire him for his deft footwork and ring intelligence. His capacity to manage the tempo and positioning of a fight enables him to outmaneuver and outthink bigger opponents, displaying a degree of talent that is uncommon in boxing.
Usyk winning this fight shows you that he is one of the all-time greats in the sport of boxing, and he's not done yet. You think maybe with that win, it would be like, what else do I have to do? Well, he's going to continue building a legacy and staying in the heavyweight division. I know some people talked about him going down and fighting Jai Opetaia. I don't see that happening. He's 220 plus pounds now. Daniel Dubois wants his revenge. We'll see what happens there. But as of right now, close fight. Usyk is the winner. Again, when I watched live, I saw a draw there. 7-5 Usyk wouldn't upset me. 8-4, again, close round, so I guess I can understand.
Usyk's most recent victory leaves little space for question. By outperforming his opponents, he has established himself as one of the best boxers of all time in ways that appeal to both supporters and detractors. This victory is a declaration that Usyk should be included in the annals of boxing legends, not just another feather in his belt.
Let's talk about Alexander Usyk. Let's talk about an all-time great, one of, if not the greatest of this generation, certainly of heavyweights. But I would go further than that and say of all these fighters, because Alexander Usyk is the gold standard of what a true fighter, in the truest sense, a true honest fighter, should be. This is a guy who has never shied away from a challenge. I was looking at his resume. Someone actually posted it. I think it might be, let's call it Michael Benson. I think that was the one. It was Michael Benson. It's Ring Magazine now. But they posted his resume of his last, I think, 14 fights, thereabouts. It's phenomenal. Alexander Usyk, I think, was 9-0 when he fought Krzysztof Glowacki back in Poland way back, 2016, 8 years ago. And I'm just going to reel this off, right? Krzysztof Glowacki in Poland. Bisa Machunu in America. Michael Hunter in America. Marco Huck in Germany. Myris Bradis in Latvia. Marek Asiev in Russia. Tony Bellew in the UK. Shez Witherspoon being kind of the exception, in all fairness. No disrespect, but kind of is.